One of the expensive realities of scaling a small business is legal fees. We often need to hire lawyers to understand certain laws that we need to be aware of and abiding by for all the contracts that we need to have in place as a small business, tax laws as well, and even just understanding legalese, like being able to translate terms of use and service agreements and contracts. So when I was building my one of my first businesses, I had to restructure it because there was a certain structure required for a potential big opportunity that I was going to get. And when I went to get the quotes, it was going to be over $10,000 to restructure my business. And even though that could lead to bigger opportunities, and it did, at the time, that was all the money that I had in my business. I was going to have to spend everything just for the potential of an opportunity. And it brought up a lot of fear for me. And I ended up writing the check because back then we wrote checks for a lot of these kinds of services that we would be engaging in. And thankfully, I ended up getting that opportunity. But that's a really big barrier. So, legal fees can be a really big barrier for scaling a business. And that's what I love about this AI tool called AILawyer. And AILawyer acts as your personal legal assistant. Now, you still need a lawyer for some things, but AILawyer claims to be able to cut over 90% of your legal costs, which is huge for a small business. So, I'm going to take you inside my account, and you can use this for summarizing legal agreements, for creating drafts of legal agreements and getting outlines for agreements and contracts in your business. You can use it to ask questions about employment law, about tax law, where you live. There are so many uses for it, and it saves you from having to go and hire a lawyer in some cases. So, for example, I have some chats here for generating contracts. I needed a licensing agreement, so I was able to create that today. And you can have it summarize documents as well. So I'm going to upload a contract that I received for a company that I'm going to be investing in. And just for privacy's sake, I'm going to hit pause, upload this, and then I'll come back. And I'm back. So I uploaded the contract for a limited partnership agreement. And I can't show you some parts of the response because it's super sensitive information. However, I can show you this more broad summary, which doesn't have any key details. And I can ask for very specific parts of the contract to be summarized for me. So if I scrolled further down, or if I asked for the actual terms of the agreement, then I get all the terms, but it's summarized in a very easy to understand way. And I would much prefer to read this over having to read the full contract word for word. And then if I have any questions about it, I can also ask those questions right here in this thread. And that's something that I used to have to call my lawyer for. And lawyers will often bill by a 15-minute increment, which means if I just have a quick question, I'm still getting billed usually for 15 minutes. So that call is going to cost me $250. And it's a question that I could have asked to AILawyer here. So I love this tool. If you have any legal needs in your small business, if you have contracts to create or contracts to review, I highly recommend that you check out AILawyer and consider getting an account. At the time of recording, they have accounts on an annual subscription for $99.99, so under $100 for the year, which is why they're able to also claim that they save people over 90% on their legal fees, because that is a great deal as you're scaling your business. So hope this tool serves you. AILawyer. Oh, so dreamy to have this.